Media Production House provides opportunities.
Adrian College Television would like to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Carlton Lodge of Adrian. Carlton Lodge is sponsoring all ACTV broadcasts during the 2021 to 2022 school year. Located at 1629 West Maumee in Adrian, Carlton Lodge offers comfortable rooms and suites at affordable rates. There's also a heated indoor and outdoor pool, along with a 24-hour fitness center. Thank you for the continued support toward Adrian College Television.
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Got an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, and learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in.
Bulldog fans, connect with Adrian College TV on social media to be updated when we're broadcasting live, to see highlights, plays of the week, and much more. Adrian College Television is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ACTV's handle is at Adrian College TV on every form of social media. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to the home of the Bulldogs, Adrian College TV.
Adrian College has once again been recognized for its commitment to engaged, experiential education by Colleges of Distinction, a one-of-a-kind guide for college-bound students. While higher education has changed over the past 20 years, Colleges of Distinction's selection process has stayed consistent in accepting only those that adhere to the 4 distinctions: engaged students, great teaching, vibrant community, and successful outcomes. Overlaid in the last few years have been a look into high-impact practices. They believe most critical to the student experience were the kinds of engaging experience that are found at Adrian College. To learn more, please visit adrian.edu.
I'm Matt Kibbe, the current student body president here at Adrian College. I chose AC because the campus simply feels like home. Everywhere I go, I know the amenities are there to help me succeed and get to the next level in my career. If you want to see what Adrian College has to offer, you can schedule an in-person visit at adrian.edu/campus-visit.
Adrian College is looking for leaders, student athletes with the tenacity to keep the Bulldogs at the top, the forefront, in and out of the classroom. The Bulldogs are looking for talent, character, hard work, grit, leaders who can electrify sold-out crowds, gut out a last-line shift, will their team to victory, hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth, and be a part of a legend in the making. Think you have what it takes to become a Bulldog? Visit adrian.edu to learn more.
Adrian College has dozens of athletics programs, and winning is a staple on our campus. We have the culture of winning in and out of the classroom. This is a place where young men and women grow into professionals for life. Are you interested in learning more about the Bulldog experience? Visit adrianbulldogs.com and the Recruit Me tab to be recruited to play your sport of choice today. If you have what it takes, you could be a Bulldog in no time. Adrian College is a pinpoint like no other. With our 77 undergraduate degrees, 47 majors, and 21 broad fields of study, Adrian has a one-of-a-kind, hands-on learning experience for everyone. Do you want to visit the campus of Adrian College in person? Visit adrian.edu/campus-visit. Again, that's adrian.edu/campus-visit. Come take in the beautiful facilities at Adrian College for yourself.
If there was one word I was going to use to describe the communication arts program at Adrian,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside Docking Stadium, the site of tonight's men's soccer matchup between Adrian College and Rochester University. The Bulldogs and Warriors are both seeking a bounce-back performance after both schools conceded 5 goals in their matches earlier on in the week. Thank you for joining us here on Adrian College TV. Calvin Keys here with you, riding solo up in the commentary booth for this matchup between Adrian and Rochester. Now we will take a moment to look at our starting lineups for tonight's game. In just a few moments. Having some technical difficulties. We'll have the starting lineups for you right now. Chris Tauzik starting in goal for Rochester. Ellis Jones, Sean Reardon, Ivan Urish, Vladimir Dokic, Adrian Lopez, Ivan Stojanovic, Dimitar Stankovic, Victor Yunchai, Luka Nezovic, and Nick Jonai starting for Rochester as they kick off and we begin tonight's match. Now we'll take a look at the starting lineups for Adrian College. Starting for Adrian, in goal, it's Dominic Edwards, the freshman, Colin O'Neill, Andre Hofius, Brady Mooser, Luke Gritza, Juan Tapia, Chris Chiz, Gary Davison, and Aiden Leland form their starting 11. This ball playing deep into Adrian territory, cleared away by Andrew Pope. Seeing a little bit of a different starting 11 for Adrian here tonight, notably without one of their captains, Dante Perry, the sophomore, who's a big piece of what Adrian likes to do on offense. Not in the lineup tonight. This ball will skip dangerously into Adrian's penalty area. Fed wide for Mooser. Last touch off of a Warrior's foot, so it'll be a throw-in for the Adrian College Bulldogs. If you're confused as to why this match is kicking off just after 8:30 p.m., it's because we saw a lengthy weather delay in the match prior to this. Women's soccer took on Heidelberg. It ended in a 0-0 draw, but at the beginning of the second half, we saw an hour-and-a-half long delay for a lightning storm that was overhead. Thus, this match got postponed a great deal. But we're happy we could get it started for you here on Adrian College TV. 2 45-minute halves ahead. A true nightcap in prime time. Adrian College Bulldogs hosting the Rochester University Warriors. Calvin Keys here with you. Looking to settle this one down is Stankovic. Rochester still with possession. It's Lopez. Dropping to a defender. Looking to switch the field here, but it's intercepted by the Bulldogs' Hofius. Looking ahead for Juan Tapia, the speedy winger out of Othello, Washington. Beautiful interception by Stojanovic, native of Birmingham, England. Sent that one over my head in Docking Stadium. Now Mooser to take the throw-in. Into the feet of Hofius. Muscled off of the ball by Yunchai. Big drop played here by Gritza. The freshman keeper again, Dominic Edwards, has done well in his role replacing Jackson Vaca out of the lineup tonight. Jonai working it back wide. Lopez returning it to his fullback, Ellis Jones. Working it across, Stojanovic. Laid off by Dokic. And the Warriors will work ahead. Long ball play deep into space. Nobody there. It'll be a throw-in here on the near touchline for Adrian. Mooser puts it back in play. Sarka will let that skip over his shoulder. Played in deep. Hofius racing after it, bearing down on Dokic. And again, Adrian will win the throw-in. Mooser to a wide open Aiden Leland, quickly being collapsed upon by Rochester defenders. Fumbled in the feet of Mooser. A rare mistake from the talented right back for Adrian College. Plays heavy minutes for this Bulldogs team. So skilled on the dribble on the outside, often in extremely tight spaces, but made a miscue there. Jones with it now. That's cut out well by Bignell. To this point, Gavin Bignell has scored Adrian's only goal on the year. It came last Saturday in a 1-0 victory against Heidelberg in the 88th minute. That goal was assisted by Owen Emmert that day. Gary Davison looking to settle the play down. Into the feet of Adrian's star midfielder, Justin Sarka. Ball played through. Won't trouble Colin O'Neill too much, as he will let it roll back for his keeper, Edwards. Edwards, a freshman out of East Lansing High School. Put some phenomenal power behind that cross, and Hofius could be in here. Andre Hofius headed on goal. That one sails wide. Complaints arising here from Ivan Stojanovic, who fell to the pitch in a heap. Thought he was fouled. Superb speed and effort from Hofius there. Nearly headed it over the goalkeeper of Rochester. Goal kick for Rochester now. Stojanovic to take. Throw in here for Mooser. On the near touch line. Thrown into the mixer. Bignell can't quite get there. Headed forwards. Continuing to press onward is Jonai. Ball falls to Jurish. Looking over the top for Jonai. That will head back peacefully into the hands of Edwards. Davison has it in his possession. Looking up the line for Bignell, but wasn't quite on the same wavelength. Rochester gets it back now. Jones worked backwards for Stojanovic. Hefty defender for Rochester. Bulldogs sporting a 1-2 record heading into this game. Rochester are 2-2. To their credit, they were able to tally a 2-1 win over Spring Arbor University, whom Adrian lost to 5-0 on Tuesday. 3-0. Last game for Rochester was against Shawnee State. It was a 5-1 loss, so looking to bounce back. Warriors' only goal came from Dimitar Stankovic, assisted by Nick Jonai. Warriors making the trip from Rochester Hills, Michigan. Beautiful interplay between Mooser and Hofius, eventually foiled. Sarka commits a hard foul against a Rochester play, but they'll retain possession. So no whistle to stop play. Lofted up ahead. Takes a touch off of Davison, who will work hard to track it down. In the end, throw in for Rochester. Jonai did a good job to keep Davison off the ball. O'Neill, well-timed tackle. Looking to play through the midfield, but turns it over to Reardon. Sean Reardon. Nifty little flick to a teammate that Edwards will settle with his hands. Bulldogs playing their third match this week. Lost to Spring Arbor 3-0 on Tuesday, and then fell 5-0 to St. Francis on Wednesday in their last game. They were pretty much dominated by the Cougars for most of the game. St. Francis probably one of the most talented teams Adrian will face this season, however. The Cougars were a deep team filled with top players from really around the world, and Adrian put in a good effort defensively, but in the end were overwhelmed and didn't create many chances on offense. Hofius looking to do so now, an extremely heavy touch. Sent out by Dokic. Lots of international players on this Rochester team as well, including several Serbians. Certainly difficult as a commentator to try to pronounce some of the names correctly. Made sure to have a pregame conference with Rochester's coach to get things sorted out. A dangerous situation here for Chris Tauzik. He was pinned deep there by Bignell. Nearly pickpocketed and would have surely meant a goal for Adrian. Had no choice but to send it to the sideline. This shot from Gritza will soar over the goal, out for a Rochester goal kick. Played up the far side. This is Ellis Jones. He's got speed if given space in the open field. Sent up the side. Could not be controlled by Dimitar Stankovic from Podgorica, Montenegro. Gritza for Leland. Gets rid. Jones into the feet of Reardon. Sean Reardon. Cross into the box. Can a teammate get on the end of it? Into the path of Yunchai. Couldn't get to the ball quick enough, and it will bounce out. Goal kick for the Bulldogs. Full day of action. Most of Adrian's fall varsity sports were competing today. Third broadcast of the day here on ACTV. Started off at 1 p.m. Adrian hosted Hanover in football action. Ended up taking that game 33-0. Then at 5 p.m., the Lady Dogs hosted Heidelberg University. That game ended in a scoreless draw. The game was bookmarked by an hour-and-a-half weather delay midway through, which is the reason why this game, initially scheduled for 7 p.m., didn't kick off until 8:30. So if nothing else, we're really just hoping for some goals in this one. Want some action. Rochester looking to provide it. Edwards leaping up to deny him. Travella there on the cross from Victor Yunchai out of Rochester, Michigan. Travella, for those not familiar, when the player uses the outside of their foot to curve, put spin on the ball in an interesting fashion. It was a tantalizing cross, but nobody near Dominic Edwards. Headed out by Dokic. Mooser. Tapia, the target man. Mike Hatfield hollering out directions. Both these teams had to wait quite a while for this game to commence as the Bulldogs win a set piece. Pretty much sitting around for an extra hour and a half, just like we were hunkered down in the broadcast booth waiting for the Thunder and Lightning to desist. Colin O'Neill with free kick duties this time around. Players crowding the edge of the 18-yard box. O'Neill high in the air, looking for someone. Goalkeeper got fingers to it. Shot went wide from Hofius, but I believe it was Gary Davison. Adrian's fullback whistled for the foul after he got right up into the grill of Chris Tauzik. Knocked the keeper over. Tauzik got a bit of a hand to it, but not enough contact. Either way, things stay scoreless. Intervention from Bignell that will concede a throw-in for Ellis Jones. Headed back for Jones. Up the line. Stankovic cutting into the middle has Andrew Pope on the ropes. Stankovic had the ball stolen from him by O'Neill. Played out by Rochester, so now Davison to put it back in play via the throw-in. Davison thrown ahead for Sarka. Dropped for Bignell. Unable to stay with the play. Jonai sent it back for Nezovic. Headed onwards. Collected by Edwards. Reardon gives, that was Stankovic, gave a thumbs up for the service. Edwards cleared to the far side of the field where it's met by the foot of Ellis Jones. Flicked onwards for Yunchai. Pressuring O'Neill. Edwards will settle. Played wide for Davison. A promising start for the Bulldogs. They've put in good effort so far. Gritza speeding to win it with his head. Luke Gritza, sophomore out of Dublin, Ohio. Now looking to have a go was Jurish. Attempt blocked by Sarka, who's had injury woes early on in the season, nursing a right groin injury, but back in the lineup again and looking to be healthy. Driving wide here is Dokic. Has it stolen from him by Brady Mooser. Flicked on ahead by Andre Ophius, and Juan Tapia is off to the races. Being defended by a Rochester player. And Stojanovic showing off his pace and his physicality to win the ball back well for Rochester. Great defending by Ivan Stojanovic. Freshman defender out of Birmingham, England. Mooser, the sophomore out of Grand Rapids, pressured heavily. Hofius looking for an escape route. Beautiful pass into the feet of Gritza. Wide for Tapia, but too far in front of him. And it looks like we have a corner kick in order here. Initially thought it would be Rochester's kick, but Tapia at the corner flag. Looking to provide a good service. Dominic Edwards coming far out of his goal enclosure. Headed forwards by Hofius into the mixer. Just past Mooser. Leland coming up to collect. Aiden Leland back into the box. Well handled by Tauzik, who will throw it with ace. Into the path of Yunchai. Victor Yunchai caused Pope to fall to the floor. Due to his moves, a bit of a mess here. Finally cleared by Davison. Ball bounced around there off of Edwards and Davison, but Adrian emerged unscathed.
Now, is there a tactic there with the goalkeeper coming all the way out to almost half field and then just having him throw a ball down there? Hopefully it goes in. Or
that's our director, Cameron Overmeyer, popping in. Are you referring to when Dominic Edwards came up close to half on the corner kick for Adrian? Is that what you're talking about? Essentially, that means that if Rochester clears it out, then he'll be able to keep it in. I've never seen a goalkeeper come out that far on a corner kick, as we saw with Dom Edwards a few moments ago. Pretty dangerous to leave the net wide open like that. But if you can get to it first, I guess it's an effective tactic. Not something I would recommend personally as a soccer coach, but for Mike Hatfield, maybe he saw something on film where it'll be pivotal for Edwards to come out and hem Rochester in their own end. Interesting question posed there, Cameron.
It almost came back and hurt him there, though. So
yeah,
we'll see if they we'll see if they do it again.
For me, I think it was more the miscommunication between Davison and Edwards deep in their own half. If you're the goalkeeper, you have to either let the defender know that they're going to have to play it themselves or call them off of it. Didn't seem like Edwards did that, and that caused the confusion. Cheeky nutmeg from Nezovic. Put it right through the legs of Mooser. Lots of skill on the dribble here, as we see again for Victor Yunchai, who is clipped here from Gritza. He'll be shown the first booking of the game. That'll stop the clock, as Gritza is cautioned with the yellow card. That was what you would call a professional foul. Adrian gains a tactical advantage as that halts the promising attack of Rochester. But what they've given up is a set piece. Adrian Lopez, sophomore midfielder out of Pontiac, Michigan, standing over the ball at about the 20-yard line on the football field. Four-man wall being constructed for the Bulldogs. Dominic Edwards positioning them. And now Lopez. One of the first opportunities of this game. Gritza will leave the wall. So now just three in the path of Adrian Lopez, who will strike it now. Dominic Edwards dives after it, but it squirts through his grasp. And that means that Adrian Lopez will open the scoring tonight for the Rochester Warriors. 1-0 for the away side. They'll crowd at half field in celebration. A meaningful moment from the Warriors. With 28 minutes left to go in the first half, Adrian Lopez scores the goal off of a miscue from Dominic Edwards. Chris Chiz comes into the game for Adrian now, but I'd love to see another look at that attempt off the free kick from Adrian Lopez. That's the risk that you run with a tactical foul like that from Gritza. But you have to think Dominic Edwards should be saving that one. It doesn't look like we'll have access to an instant replay, but it pretty much was. It looked like Dominic Edwards was going to get to it, but when he dove, the ball just slipped by his fingertips. Don't really know how that shot got through, but nonetheless, Lopez on the board. 1-0 to the away team, Rochester. Making the trip from Rochester Hills, Michigan. Hour 45-minute drive here from Adrian, located about 92 miles northeast of the campus. Davison, a long throw in. Trying to seek out Tapia. Sarka. On to Mooser. Cutting it back for Leland. Now Davison. This is good. Possession is pivotal for the Bulldogs. Bignell looking to play it to himself. Stojanovic tracking it down. and sending it up the hill to give his back line a chance to reorient themselves. Davison will be told to back up his position, trying to inch forward as soccer players often do to get the most promising position possible. Davison certainly can put some distance on those throw-ins as it's in the box. Mooser resembled more of a karate kick there from him than a shot on goal. Sails out the end line, goal kick for Rochester. They're managed by Joey Tinian. Adrian managed by Mike Hatfield. Rochester looking to play onwards, but Lopez put that service far away from the feet of Dimitar Stankovic. He seemed a bit frustrated. Lopez, of course, getting the opening goal and maybe prospects for another, as Jonai coming into the box, looked to cut it back there from Yunchai. It was behind his teammate. Now on the dribble is Nezovic, whips it in. Ball is fumbled by Edwards. Another mistake from the keeper, which leads to another goal for Rochester. Warriors score another goal to extend their lead early on. It was Nick Jonai, senior from Shelby Township, Michigan, to get the second goal of the game for the Warriors. 2-0 early on. Another look at the goal from Nick Jonai. It was a low shot hit in by Nezovic that Edwards wasn't quite able to corral. Bounced off of him, and that was pretty much on a platter for Nick Jonai. One of the easiest finishes he will see in his career, no doubt. And now Adrian find themselves in a bit of a hole. A couple of miscues for Dominic Edwards, but he's not the only one to blame for the goals. First, it was a poor foul deep in Adrian's territory from Luke Gritza. And that time, it was Nezovic beating a defender one-on-one to generate the rebound chance initially capitalized upon by Jonai.
Does this mean our goal curse for soccer games that we do together is now gone?
I think it does. For those wondering the backstory behind that statement from Cameron, we broadcast a women's soccer match right before this, as we mentioned, that ends scoreless between Adrian and Heidelberg. That was the second match me and Cameron had both worked together that had ended scoreless. The curse had seemingly started in the first women's soccer game of the season, which was Earlham versus Adrian. So back-to-back broadcasts with no goals when Cameron and myself have worked on the ACTV crew. And now it seems that the curse has been broken, as you said, albeit not in the way that we wanted, with Adrian falling down by 2 goals early on in this match. Goals from Nick Jonai and Adrian Lopez, the difference. Adrian down 2-0, and they've struggled to score goals this year, so it was pivotal that they keep Rochester's goal-scoring capabilities to a minimum. That one struck well by Stojanovic, settled even more superbly by Jonai, sends to the near side. Nezovic, who showed his proficiency on the dribble, will be bested 1v1 that time by Mooser, who sends it into touch. Thanks again for joining us here on ACTV. Calvin Keys along for the ride here with you at Docking Stadium here in Adrian, Michigan. Bulldogs hosting the Warriors from Rochester University. They'll win a goal kick here.
Edwards kicking it out of the goal here.
Knocked onwards by the Bulldogs. Luke Gritza couldn't quite catch up to it. Rochester dropping this ball back On ahead for the goal scorer, Jonai. Stojanovic. Incredible leg strength from that man. Sent it deep to the far side. Musser heads it out. Nezovic with the throw-in. Sending this one deep onto Stankovic. Pope steals it off him and avoids the corner kick. Rochester will draw the throw-in. Luka Nezovic to take it. Hailing from Belgrade, Serbia. One of the beautiful things about soccer is it's a truly international sport, the game enjoyed by many worldwide. Sarka clearing it over his head. Adrian their men's soccer program has played a lot of teams of late, with players from around the globe. Bulldogs have a team that's predominantly made out of players from Michigan. If I'm not mistaken, their entire team consists of American players, whereas a lot of the teams they've played recently, Rochester, Spring Arbor, St. Francis, all of them have had a great diversity and a real international flair about them. Stankovic played on, intercepted by Pope. Nearly sprung through for Chris Chiz, but he is locked down by Vladimir Dokic. Testing ball that nearly snuck through the cracks for Rochester. Stankovic drops for Yunchai. Swung wide for Sean Reardon. Into the path of Stankovic. Rochester looking dangerous yet again as players sprint up the pitch for their side. Stankovic, tricky back heel for Yunchai. Dimitar Yunchai kicked back out for him. Rochester loses a hold of the ball, but only momentarily as it's swung wide. Cannot be controlled that time on the lofted pass. Bulldogs ball. Ball sprinkled by Gritza into the feet of the center back Stojanovic. An excellent distributor as his team moves up the pitch. Gave it and then got it back from Jurish. Jonai. Davison working well to intercept. Nezovic. Beautiful touch. Nezovic being impeded by Musser. Sarka working hard to win it back. And the foul called against the Warriors. 2-0 to Rochester. Calvin Keys here on play-by-play. Cameron Overmeyer, our producer tonight. Joined by Dylan Knighton, operating the camera. All of us Adrian College students talking with Dylan during our lengthy rain delay. He's a member of one of the hockey teams here at Adrian College, the ACHA Division I men's team. He's a goaltender for them. Have to get his reaction to some of the goalkeeping struggles for Dominic Edwards here in this first half. It's pretty much been the difference. Although Rochester's offensive capabilities certainly haven't helped either in Adrian's case. It's been a bit of an onslaught. Warriors have possessed a great deal. I figured that Adrian would be up against it in this one, as I saw that Rochester took down Spring Arbor 2-1 in one of their games earlier on this year. That's a team that Adrian fell to 3-0 on Tuesday of this week. So we knew it would be a tough test. Adrian's non-conference schedule continues to be challenging as they prep for the MIAA conference play to begin in close to a month's time. Vladimir Dokic in possession. Chris Tauzik up ahead. Bit of an attack building. Yunchai facing off with Pope, who will receive some help from Musser. Brilliant tackle from Andrew Pope, sends it out for a corner kick.
No, Adrian College doesn't begin league play until October 5th. Everything before then is all non-conference play.
Yep, that's how it is for the men and the women, Cameron. It just provides a chance for the teams to kind of hone their skills and get prepared for when the crucial games begin in conference play, and then depending on how they perform in those games later on, that'll determine whether they can qualify for their conference tournament and compete for the MIAA title.
The women start almost a week earlier on September 28th.
Interesting. I think their season started earlier as well, so that could explain that. Played into the back post. Cleared well by Brady Mooser. Jurish. Taken away by Sarka, looking to spring Juan Tapia, but not able to. Adrian Lopez gets in the way, but they'll try again. This time Stojanovic sends it high in the air. Mooser looking to settle. Always difficult on this turf surface. Lopez sent it over everyone that time. Dominic Edwards coming out of the penalty area to pick it up. Sent up for Davison. Now Edwards receiving it back. Wide for O'Neal. Colin O'Neal. Long ball played over the top for Chiz to chase. Tauzik dinks it over the top dangerously. Maybe Gritza will pick this one up. A dangerous tackle on Stojanovic, who's still down on the ground. His reaction came a bit late to the tackle, but it was two studs up for Gritza and an attack for Adrian. Leland playing it in. Tauzik the save. Still loose. Rochester playing it out. And Stojanovic heading back into the play. Got back onto his feet momentarily. Ran into the 18-yard box of Rochester. Holding one of his feet. That injury created by a hard tackle from Luke Gritza. And while Ivan Stojanovic is tended to, we will step aside for a brief commercial break.
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Got an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, and learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House.
Ivan Stojanovic was tended to, now off on the sideline, limping his way back to the halfway line and making his re-entry now as Davison prepares to throw the ball in for the Bulldogs. Looks like Stojanovic will continue to press onwards. Thought initially it may have been a bit of theatrics after a hard tackle from Gritza, but it looks as if Stojanovic actually still does have a bit of a limp in his stride, but looks no worse for wear. Foot race for it now. Pope is beaten, and maybe Dimitar Stankovic is in. He's incredibly isolated, now has teammates joining him as he lays it off for one of them now. That's Yunchai, who lost it to Justin Sarka. Sarka clearing the lines for Adrian. Headed back forwards into the feet of Jurish. Return for Vladimir Dokic. Lopez. Up the far sideline, Davison will get there first. Now a foul called against the Bulldogs, which will set up a free kick for the Warriors of Rochester.
Now it's looking to me here, Calvin, that Adrian's tactic right now is get the ball from Rochester in their end and just bomb it downfield to one of their forwards and midfielders to try and get those easy breakaway goals.
Yep. I definitely have to agree with you as Rochester whips in another testing ball. Chance for Jonai. Didn't have the time or the space. I think when you face a team like Rochester that's been possessing it so much and they're so talented on the dribble, that's one of your only options, Cameron. That's pretty much the only way you can look to strike back against them when you know when you're outclassed a little bit, and you're just going to have to look to take advantage of your speed and make the most of the opportunities that do come your way. Adrian's looked good when they've had the ball. It's just been mostly in the possession of the Warriors.
They have to get the possession first. They're looking good with the possession, but the problem right now is getting the possession.
Absolutely. Rochester has done a better job controlling it. When Adrian's gotten a hold of the ball, they've turned it over more quickly, and it makes it difficult to really build an attack when you've been chasing the game for so long because you get exhausted having to defend chance after chance for Rochester.
Now, how big of a factor do you think the delay in the women's game affected the Rochester and the Adrian guys here?
I would say it definitely has an effect, as we'll see the entry of Drake Sellers and Anthony Reiter replacing Brady Mooser and Gary Davison, so replacements for the left back and right back for Adrian. Also coming in is Luis Kalechi in place of Adrian Lopez, who has one of Rochester's goals tonight. I think that, as you said, Cameron, before the substitution interrupted us a little bit, going back to your train of thought, I think that it does have an effect when both teams have to endure an hour and a half delay and play much later than they initially anticipate and sit around for a bit, but it affects both teams equally, so no excuse to be down 2-0 in this game. Drake Sellers got up in the play, looked to put a cross into the box. That was deflected away by Nezovic, sliding in.
Those are the chances there to beat a team such as Rochester that you have to capitalize on. You can't be missing those type of crossers into the box and not being able to convert on them.
Here's another chance here that Adrian needs to take full advantage of. Gritza played in and straight to the head of a Rochester player. Tapia looked to have a go on the half volley. He was knocked over. Looked up at the referee. No call coming. Chiz, beautiful ball with some real whippage, but right into the arms of Chris Tauzik from Sterling Heights, Michigan. Tauzik swinging wide, clears this one up the pitch. Past Nezovic, the new substitute Kalechi. Luis Kalechi taking on Drake Sellers. That's number 20 versus number 20 on the near side. Plays a 1-2 ball, and it's back on for Luis Kalechi. Low ball played in. Can it be controlled by Reardon? Reardon has the shot. Wasn't far away, was he? That was awfully close. Just outside that left post of the Adrian goal. Colin Charnick replacing Gritza in the midfield. Charnick, a sophomore out of Monroe, Michigan, 5'9" midfielder. Edwards and the Bulldogs dodged another bullet as we have another look at the promising attack here for Rochester. It fell to Sean Reardon. Bulldogs gave him a bit of space to have a strike on the half volley. It was a good effort from playing it across his body. And you could see Edwards kind of had a second glance at it as if to say, is this really going to roll into the net? It looked like it was on target, but a narrow miss. Score stays 2-0.
Very narrow miss there. It had us up in the box jumping around when it went wide left there.
I thought we were about to see our third goal of the match. Dokic onwards. Pope intervening.
Third goal of the year for that matter.
Settled goal by Jurish. Third goal of the year for our production tandem. I've seen plenty of goals, but unfortunately most of them have been against the Adrian's men's soccer team. I'd like to see them get their second of the year. They certainly have the potential to do so. It'll be challenging, but we'll see if the Bulldogs are up to the task as it's Reardon. Again, cutting in. Dumps off for Yunchai. Falls to Reardon. Premium chance. You wonder if he would have taken a moment to settle it with a first touch and then have an effort at goal if we would have seen our third of the night. Tried to hit it first time. Difficult. Maybe didn't have the time and space to settle it and have a go at goal, but nonetheless, another chance wasted. Good opportunity for Reardon as Owen Emmerts will come on to replace Gavin Bignell. Emmert, the freshman out of Walled Lake, Michigan, had that pivotal assist against Heidelberg, feeding the man he just replaced on the field, Gavin Bignell. Chiz lost the ball on his feet, but fortunately took a touch off a Warrior. Thrown in for Sarka. Hasn't looked like his usual self since coming back from a significant injury to his groin, but nonetheless has a part to play out there. Really a game changer to have him on the field. Adrian team that's still looking for their identity this year, as it's Jones. Tauzik. Leland looked to head it forwards, instead it came backwards off his head. Charnick. Sellers. Trapped by Stojanovic. Sellers backtracking. Good work by O'Neal to call him off of it. Low driven ball that took a touch off of Pope between the wickets of Stankovic. That was an unintentional nutmeg. We've seen a couple of intentional ones from Rochester on the dribble where they've really had Adrian defenders on ice. Now it's headed into the middle for Jonai. Nick Jonai has one tonight. Can he find a second? Look to play it wide unselfishly for Kalechi. Keeps it in play. Crossed into the box, and Jonai finds his second. Rochester's third. The man out of Shelby Township, Michigan, showing his veteran experience. The senior with his second goal of the night to make it 3-0 Rochester. Dominic Edwards got up somewhat gingerly as Jonai crashed into him. No foul play there as he won the race to the cross and slotted it home for another nice finish. Look at the buildup. Adrian relaxes for a moment. Not even for a moment. They were defending it tightly. That was an excellent cross, but someone has to be marking that man Jonai. He can't be allowed to run in one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Defenders lost their mark, and it proved costly. Damage control, the name of the game for Adrian now. Conceding 3 goals in the first 45. 2 coming from Rochester's Nick Jonai and the other from Adrian Lopez, who had the first. So it's consecutive goals from Jonai. Make it a 3-goal difference in this game. Now some fresh legs entering in the form of Garrett Dowd, the sophomore forward from Goodrich. Replacing Dimitar Stankovic, the Montenegrin. Throw in on the far side of the field. Thrown in well. Rochester up the line. They'll continue to keep possession. Bowled over there is Victor Yunchai. I believe that was Chiz with the hard foul. All the way back and reset for Chris Tauzik. Stojanovic taking his space. Jurish. Dokic. Stojanovic. Ellis Jones. Again, it's Jones. Threaded through the middle. Yunchai, a maestro with the ball at his feet. Pope will let this one return to the hands of Dominic Edwards. Edwards taking his time, 7 minutes on the game clock. Remaining in the first half of a game that was postponed by an hour and a half. Initially intended to begin at 7 p.m. This one starting at 8:30. Sarka dismayed that Chiz wasn't able to find him with the pass. Nezovic. Dokic. Stojanovic. That Eastern European triangle they have on the left side is really doing good work for the Warriors, but it's a mistake by the goal scorer Jonai. Quickly averted by Ivan Stojanovic, and maybe a counter here from Garrett Dowd. Lockdown defending from Andrew Pope, who gets a high five from his keeper Edwards. Nonetheless, it's a corner kick. I think one of the prime men to watch out for in a red and black shirt is Ivan Stojanovic. Extremely tall, stands above the rest of the pack. Potentially be a target for this Rochester corner. Ball's whipped in to the far post. Hit first time. That shot is blocked. Pope heading it away. Maybe another chance. A pair of shots from Luka Nezovic were blocked. Great defending by Adrian. Sometimes it's a little bit scary getting in front of those shots, but it's a necessary evil. That's what the Bulldogs did. keeping Rochester off the score sheet. Nezovic. Great skill, a couple of volleys there. Not able to find a gap in Adrian's armor. Yunchai racing after it. Forced outside by Ryder, who now has a throw-in. Ryder. Jonai. Sarka flicked for Tapia. Tapia looking for space, and a teammate finds the feet of Chris Chiz. Out wide, needs support. Chiz again. Cutting it back to his right foot, played into the box. Stojanovic with the tackle. Ryder is beaten. And now Dowd looking to unleash his speed and wreak havoc against Adrian's defense. Dowd still staying with it. Finally wrapped up by Colin O'Neill, who ruled that his opponent was too dangerous to be let run free. O'Neill, the senior out of Milford, Michigan. Having some issues with our stream right now. Sorry for the lag. Or at least on my monitor. Hopefully everything's coming through clear for our audience at home. It's going to be another goal kick for the Bulldogs. Dominic Edwards with the responsibility. Edwards skies this one away to midfield. Off the side of Charnick. Played back wide for Ryder. Off the foot of Charnick and out of bounds for a Rochester throw. Jonai. Tapia. Can he control it? He can't. Tough when you're being collapsed upon from multiple directions for Tapia, who's often all alone in the attacking half of the field. Now he's got some help. Looking to play through from Emmert. Well-timed interception by Stojanovic. Not the last time we'll say that tonight. He has been superb in defense. Pope. For Sellers, doesn't have a lot of time to get the pass off. Emmert. Tapia looking to find a way. Instead, poked away by Juric. Ivan Juric from Sabak, Serbia. Tight situation for Rochester, but they make it look easy. Jonai. Left for his pal, Nezovic. Plenty of green grass for Juric. Pope gets a foot in. Charnick couldn't keep a hold of it. Leland attempting to contain Yunchai. Juric. Stojanovic. Tapia and Charnick content to keep Stojanovic in front of them. Reardon looked like he played it out, but may have shaved off the leg of Anthony Ryder. Throw in for the Warriors. Minute 30 remaining in this first half. It's been all Rochester so far. Majority of play has taken place in Adrian's side of the pitch, and maybe having a try at goal is Juric. That one blocked. 3 goals in the first half, 2 from Nick Jonai, and 1 from Adrian Lopez. 1 off a set piece, 1 off of a rebound, and 1 off of a header. So 3 goals, all in 3 unique ways for the Rochester Warriors. They can score any way you like. Less than a minute remaining in this game. A poor tackle from Aiden Leland. Was that inside of the penalty area? Doesn't look like it. Right on the edge. Aiden Leland tiptoeing a dangerous line there with that late tackle. Thought the referee would point to the spot. Instead, it will be Luis Colechi with free kick duties. Junior forward out of Shelby Township. Can he make it for Colechi? Off the crossbar, not of the goal, but of the field goal. Maybe the last play of this first half. As the clock nears expiration in this first half, Dominic Edwards will take his time. First half comes to a close. Rochester up 3-0. Adrian will look to regroup and attempt to mount a comeback here at Docking Stadium in Adrian, Michigan. Thanks for tuning in on ACTV. Second half action will come around in 15 minutes. Please stay with us.
Crosses over, back onto the far side.
Grips the shot. She scores!
Adrian College is a pinpoint like no other. With our 77 undergraduate degrees, 47 majors, and 21 broad fields of study, Adrian has a one-of-a-kind, hands-on learning experience for everyone. Do you want to visit the campus of Adrian College in person? Visit adrian.edu/campus-visit. Again, that's adrian.edu/campus-visit. Come take in the beautiful facilities at Adrian College for yourself.
What if you didn't choose to become an Adrian College Bulldog? Surely you would have carried on with your education and could potentially be graduating elsewhere. But what would you have the honor of greeting Bruiser on campus? Would you have had the privilege of working alongside faculty that know your name? Would you have had the opportunity to learn and grow in an environment that is seeking the truth and dignity in all people? Would you have had a creative learning environment that is supportive of challenging you and achieving excellence in your academics, but also your personal and professional lives? This has been Adrian College's promise to us. Just as our families have promised to love us unconditionally and support us through the many peaks and valleys of our lives, Adrian offered a similar promise to us when they realized our potential by asking us to join them. While we have been busy navigating the many what-ifs of our time, none of which we could have imagined, we have indeed found the cane that holds our ribbons of excellence at Adrian to stand strong. Strength and tradition. A tradition that carries on from graduating class to graduating class. A symbolic reminder of the leadership carrying the motto, no victory without work. The Adrian College class of 2021 can proudly proclaim that we have earned our ribbon of excellence for persevering through a pandemic because of our hard work. We have had to learn how to best navigate the many what-ifs in uncharted times. While some of the what-ifs have been answered, it is now up to each of us to embrace and navigate on our own. What if I take that job? What if I decide to continue on for postgraduate endeavors? What if I decide this? What if I decide that? No matter what, you'll be able to face your tomorrow knowing that you are a member of a pack, the Adrian College Bulldogs class of 2021.
Part of the family here at Adrian College are the friends we've made. These friends have gone to games with you, shared late night tales with you, explored downtown with you, and joked around with you at Ritchie. They were in the library with you at midnight studying for the 8 a.m. exam you forgot to study for. And they're there when you cried because you failed that exam. These friends are your new family members now. You will stay in touch with them forever, even if it's just liking their Facebook post about the new puppy they just got. Parents, family, and friends, we cannot thank you enough for everything you have done for us. Thank you for the support and the opportunity for this moment to graduate from Adrian College. You have helped us reach our dreams and goals in life. Congratulations, class of 2021. We finally made it.
Adrian College has once again found itself on the 2022 U.S. News and World Report Best College Rankings. This is the 8th straight year that Adrian has been named to the top regional colleges Midwest section. Adrian College was also named the most innovative school in the regional colleges Midwest category. In addition, Adrian received accolades in Best Value in undergraduate teaching within regional colleges Midwest. Adrian College was also named in the top first-year experiences by U.S. News and World Report. This marks the 13th consecutive year that Adrian has appeared in U.S. News and World Report. To see the full rankings, visit their website. For more information on Adrian College, visit adrian.edu. Adrian College has once again been recognized for its commitment to engaged, experiential education by Colleges of Distinction, a one-of-a-kind guide for college-bound students. While higher education has changed over the past 20 years, Colleges of Distinction's selection process has stayed consistent in accepting only those that adhere to the 4 distinctions: engaged students, great teaching, vibrant community, and successful outcomes. Overlaid in the last few years have been a look into high-impact practices. They believe most critical to the student experience were the kinds of engaging experience that are found at Adrian College. To learn more, please visit adrian.edu.
Bulldog fans, connect with Adrian College TV on social media to be updated when we're broadcasting live, to see highlights, plays of the week, and much more. Adrian College Television is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ACTV's handle is at Adrian College TV on every form of social media. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to the home of the Bulldogs, Adrian College TV.
Welcome back to Docking Stadium here on ACTV for our coverage of men's soccer. Adrian College hosting Rochester University. Right now it's a bit of a one-sided scoreline, 3-0 in favor of the away side. Shots were extremely lopsided as well. Rochester Warriors outshot the Adrian Bulldogs 12-3 in that first half. 6 of those were on target. 2 of Adrian's 3 shots were on target, so that's a decent percentage. Dominic Edwards forced to make 3 saves, a couple of the goals that were scored by Rochester. He saved the initial attempt, but had a bit of a miscue, bobbled it. That's what led to the second goal from Nick Jonai. The first one was a set piece from Adrian Lopez that went just outside the grasp of Edwards. Warriors have more possession, 52% to Adrian's 48. And there's a look at our halftime stats. A couple of other stats that may be notable. Bulldogs received 1 yellow card in the first half. It was awarded to Luke Gritza. No cards for Rochester in the first 45 minutes. Remarkably enough, on that foul that warranted a yellow from Luke Gritza, it also led to the goal from Adrian Lopez, the first of the game. Bulldogs on their heels. We're still waiting for them to return to the pitch. Rochester is out, warmed up, ready to go. Bulldogs have not returned since entering the locker room. Buzzer sounds, and now they will make their approach back onto the pitch, led by Juan Tapia and Andre Hofius. A couple of premium chances for the Bulldogs in that first half, but no end result, and it's always difficult when you're being tired out by your opponent. Rochester's largely possessed so far in this game. Calvin Keys here with you in the commentary booth. Our director, Cameron Overmeyer, will pop in every once in a while.
I'm actually going to pop in right now. So, Kelvin, if you're the coach here for Adrian, and if you're say you're a fly on the wall there in the locker room there at halftime for the Bulldogs, what do you think their coach told them to do here coming into the second half?
I mean, I would say just throw the kitchen sink at Rochester. I mean, what do you have to lose? You're down 3 goals. May as well go out there, give it your best effort, and leave the field tonight knowing that you gave it all.
You said the kitchen sink. I think they might need the whole kitchen here in the second half.
Absolutely. Down 3 goals. It's going to take a tall order. 45 minutes to do it. That's a lot of time. A lot can change over the duration of this second half, but Adrian Bulldogs will certainly be up against it, especially with some of the talent Rochester has in this team. I mean, we mentioned Nick Jonai, 2 goals in that first half, another from Adrian Lopez. I think the toughest guy that Adrian will have to face in Rochester's lineup is Ivan Stojanovic, their center back. Because you look at him, he's got to be around 6'4", extremely fast for his size, extremely agile and athletic. And he was pretty much dominating the Bulldogs deep in his own half of the field. Has to be intimidating presence for the Bulldogs. The whistle blows, and the second 45 will begin. Ball skips past Tapia and back to the man we just mentioned, Stojanovic. Sarka played across for Gary Davison. Luke Gritza. And throw in for the Warriors. It is ruled. Sean Reardon had a dangerous chance off the volley that narrowly missed the goal frame. He's dropping this one back. It'll come all the way back for Chris Tauzik, the goalkeeper. 2 saves in that first half for his squad. Takes a favorable bounce for Rochester over the head of Leland. Now maybe a chance in behind that Edwards will come out and scoop up. Dimitar Stankovic trying to race after it. Edwards skies it ahead. Reardon. Right back in for Stankovic to chase. Pope headed wide. Davison on ahead. Sarka racing after it. Stojanovic wasn't able to make contact. Tauzik sending wide for Ellis Jones. Over the head of Jonai. And Davison frustrated that wasn't able to control that. Jones, maybe in here is Yunchai, laying this one off. The strike, and a beautiful save by Dominic Edwards on the attempt from Luka Nezovic. The Serbian had plenty of space to let fly, and Edwards with a well-timed dive to knock it out for a Rochester corner. Joey Tinian, the Warriors manager, shouting out instructions as Ellis Jones will take his time orchestrating a corner kick play. You can see Rochester packing the box. They're very close to Adrian's goal frame. As Jones to provide the service. Whipped into the box, and there's a fourth. Dimitar Stankovic, a superb header flicked on, marking again a serious issue for Adrian as they let Stankovic run all by his lonesome onto the near post and had an open shot on goal. 4-0 for Rochester. See if we can have another look at that one. That'll be set up for us right now. A look at the fourth goal for Rochester. It was Stankovic running into the near post, flicking it into the top corner, and nothing Edwards could do about that one. Not the start Adrian had hoped for. Stojanovic, a thundering kick. Frustrating for Adrian. At this point, it's all about continuing to do the right things and form good habits. Even down 4 goals, it's crucial that they continue to fight and claw and make life as difficult as they can for Rochester. Comes out for a goal kick for the Warriors now. Monday, the Bulldogs will finally hit the road. After 3 consecutive home matches, they'll take on Indiana Wesleyan University at 7 p.m. on Monday. Headed back to Lopez. Sent into the air, headed by Mooser. Hofius chasing in behind. Mooser bumped into. Nezovic booked for a foul. Rochester's going to travel to Olivet College in their next game on Wednesday. That one kicking off at 5 p.m. Sarka. Nowhere near a teammate. Mooser was upended. Got up quickly without complaint. Tauzik plays this one short. Onto his defender. Intercepted well. Hofius into the middle for Tapia, just out of his reach. Demoralizing there, as it was really good work defending for Adrian. Hofius gets his toe in. Played forwards again by Reardon. Pope sidesteps an attacker, trying to win the ball off of him. Tapia, wide for Bignell. Juan Tapia, Davison made a bit of a mess of that one, and to make up for his error, had to grab the shirt of Nick Jonai. Jones. Back for Stojanovic. Swung wide, Dokic. Sarka impeding the progress of a Rochester player. Jones. Head on to Reardon. Lobs it. Won by Pope. And into touch. Rochester throwing. Looking for Yunchai down the line. And Adrian gets a free kick off of the infraction by Victor Yunchai out of Rochester, Michigan. Dominic Edwards will take this one from inside the 18-yard box. Edwards kicked high in the air. Getting up for it well is Lopez. And a race now. Pope will best Stankovic. Reardon. Dropping for Jones. Jones playing ahead. Jonai. Stankovic. Got the slightest of touches. Deftly looked to play that one in the box. Davison jumping across to block the crossing attempt. Bignell plays it out. Reardon thrown in for Jones. Ellis Jones. Drop pass for Stojanovic. Looks to start the attack from the back for Rochester. Ball over the top. No one there to be the recipient of it. Collected by Edwards. Booted 3/4 of the way down the field. Edwards has quite the leg on him, similar to Ivan Stojanovic, the center back for Rochester. Ball bouncing back, and O'Neill will just watch it go out of play. Throw in for Mooser. Cameron, would you mind giving us an update possibly on some of the other Adrian athletics that have happened today?
Yeah.
We'll give him a moment to look up that information. We'll continue on here with the broadcast. Lots of sports going on today, and a chance maybe for Stankovic if he hurries. Instead, O'Neill will drop it back for Edwards. Stankovic nearly blocked the clearance. Pope working it ahead, turned over again. Chance for Jurish, fed over for Reardon. Heavy touch, stayed with it. Cleared out for Bignell. Lost it quickly to Lopez. In a moment, once this promising attack dies down for Rochester, we will have an update on some of the Adrian athletics. Davison catching Yunchai awkwardly. He was holding his side. Gets up, no worse for wear. And a set piece about to be whipped in for Rochester.
So we had men's cross country finishing 5th out of 10 at the night invite hosted by Kelvin, and also the women's team finished 10th. Women's volleyball won 3-1 against the College of Worcester to finish 2-1 on the weekend.
One moment here as this ball's played in, and it'll go out for a goal kick. Continue on.
And women's soccer, obviously, Adrian ended in a draw against Heidelberg. And then men's and women's tennis. Women's tennis won 7-2 against Manchester, and men's tennis won 8-1 against Manchester. So a lot of wins coming home for the Dogs this weekend.
From the looks of things, might not be a win here coming home for Adrian, but good to see a lot of the teams having success this weekend for the Bulldogs. Thanks for that update, Cameron. Appreciate it.
And obviously we had football win this afternoon, 33-0 against
Hanover. Thanks for the update again. Appreciate it. Wide open is Jurish clamoring for it. He'll finally get it from Yunchai now. Ivan Jurish cut out O'Neill. Couldn't control it. Sarka racing after it. Bignell cleared away. Gavin Bignell. Nice play to strip Ellis Jones of the ball. Native of Liverpool, England. Cross ripped in by Sean Reardon. Mix up there. Dimitar Stankovic had a bit of space he created for himself, but could not get on the end of it. Lots of college football upsets today. Wasn't any Premier League soccer this weekend, unfortunately, due to the passing of the Queen of England. Rest in peace.
Alabama just skating by Texas there, 2019.
Oh my, a bit of a mix-up at center field. Sorry to interrupt you. Luke Gritza and that was Lopez getting into mild disagreement. But yeah, like you said, talking about college football as we watch some football action. Oh my goodness. Gary Davison, that is inexcusable. Shown a yellow immediately. Don't know if there's ill will there, but that was a violent play from Davison, who clattered directly into Sean Reardon. Both players going up for the ball. Davison crashed into Reardon. A mix-up now. And hopefully this will be broken up.
That was a hard collision there.
You can see why some of the Rochester players would be upset. Gary Davison jumping up in the air, crashed into a Rochester player. And I think that was a really good show of leadership from Justin Sarko, who quickly intervened, tried to separate the two players, and really just, tried to make it clear it was just a soccer play, two players going for the ball. Obviously, Davison, it's necessary that he's shown the yellow card there. That's not a collision you want to see. It was a little bit reckless from the Bulldogs fullback, but Sarka's not going to let his teammate be intimidated, and he's also not going to let Davison start any more of a ruckus. So calmer heads prevail. Free kick for Rochester now. Still 35 minutes to be played in the second half after Gary Davison was just shown the yellow card for a shouldered collision with, I want to say that was Sean Reardon that got the worst of it. But yeah, Alabama college football, Alabama just narrowly got through by the skin of their teeth, 20-19 over Texas. Thought a massive upset was going to be in play there with the number 1 team in the nation barely winning at unranked Texas.
And
I saw Marshall took down Notre Dame, the number 8 ranked team. Obviously, rankings don't hold a lot of weight at this point in the NCAA football season, but that was
then another big
unheard
one
of.
in the Big Ten. Number 18 Wisconsin got beat by Washington State.
That was also ridiculous. Obviously, both those schools Power 5 teams, but Wisconsin obviously the heavy favorite in that game. There was just a good chance a few moments ago for Brady Mooser, who was muscled off of it by a Rochester player. Andrew Pope, really adept defending again. Really like what I've seen out of Pope so far this year, the freshman out of Monroe, Michigan. Monroe St. Mary's High School graduate. He's been a big addition. I believe there was still some soccer action. None of it in England. That's my league of choice that I like to watch. My team, Tottenham Hotspur, they got the midweek win this week against Marseille, thanks to the legend from Brazil, Richarlison, who scored 2 late on to give them the Champions League win. As for matches today, there was some La Liga play going on. Atletico Madrid took down Celta Vigo. Barcelona got a 4-0 blowout win over Cadiz. Sevilla narrowly took down Espanyol 3-2. And PSG squeaked out a win, 1-0 over Stade Brest. A little bit of a soccer scores update from the weekend, as heading along with pace is Victor Yunchai. Couldn't get there. Throw in for the Warriors. University of Michigan currently taking on Hawaii in college football action. I'm a diehard Wolverines fan, so hopefully they're able to find some success. Hopefully Michigan is not one of the upsets that takes place today. Obviously Cameron with a little bit of an opposite position. I'll just say he's a Buckeye. We'll leave it at that, and we'll move on to a new topic.
Had a hard game today for us, you know.
Yeah. Arkansas State, tough test.
Got Toledo next week.
Got the hard game out of the way with the first game of the season, but from the looks of things, maybe Notre Dame wasn't as good as we all thought. Beautifully flicked on here into the path of Dimitar Stankovic. Tries to dink it over Dominic Edwards. That is a masterclass from Stankovic.
That was an awesome shot there.
Saw the keeper coming off his line. The perfect velocity, the perfect weight, the perfect height. Dimitar Stankovic, take a bow. Junior forward out of Podgorica, Montenegro, is just pouring it on for Rochester at this point. Up 5. That is one of the most beautiful goals I've ever seen. We'll have to see it again. Stankovic saw Edwards coming off his line to take away the angle. Used the top of his foot to perfectly chip it over the keeper into the wide open goal mouth. Stankovic with a superb strike. Little dink over the keeper, Dominic Edwards.
May have been a couple extracurricular conversations going on as the ref was talking to one of the Rochester players there.
Yeah.
I think this game's going to start getting a little gritty and start getting a little, might see some more yellow cards, possibly some red cards here after that collision that they had over here on our end.
Well, I certainly hope we won't see any red cards. But
hopefully not, but.
I mean, tempers boiling over a little bit here tonight. We saw a rough tackle from Gary Davison, and it's only second nature for frustrations to mount when you're losing 5 goals against a team when there's still over a third of the game left to be played. We'll see the re-entry of Garrett Dowd and the first appearance of the match for Tyler Garris, freshman midfielder out of Middleville, Michigan, subbing in for Rochester. I think for Adrian's manager, Mike Hatfield, this is the time where he's really going to see who on his team is going to step up to the challenge and really what his players are made of, because this is the definition of adversity. Down 5 goals with a lot of game left to be played. It's a tough situation to be put in, but as they say, pressure makes diamonds. So we'll have to see which Adrian players can emerge from a tough situation and make the best out of it.
This is where, as they say, separate the men from the boys.
Absolutely. Couldn't have put it any better. Dowd down the line. The new entry, Tyler Garris, played off from the other substitute, Garrett Dowd. Great composure to cut that one back as his cross was likely going to be blocked by Bignell. Into the mixer. Trying to connect with Garris. Rochester player upended over the top by Dokic. Nobody in that zip code where he played that pass. Edwards to take the goal kick. Dominic Edwards has had a heavy workload. Nothing much he could have done about that last goal. He was showing proper technique to come off and take the angle, make things difficult for Stankovic, but then Stankovic just performed a shot that was completely unprecedented. Dink over his head. Edwards, one of the shorter goalkeepers you'll see, and I think even a goalkeeper that was 6'2" wouldn't have been able to save that, as Stankovic just found the perfect parabola, if you will, to get the right height in math terms. The ball just dropped well enough, put a little bit of backspin on it, and nestled perfectly into that far corner. It was a work of art. Hang that in the Louvre, because that was a phenomenal shot from Stankovic.
Call him Chris Kyle, because he sniped that shot.
Jeez. Colin O'Neill chasing this one down to the end line. Dominic Edwards will take this goal kick, and we'll see the appearance of Mason Vanasacker, freshman out of Monroe, Michigan. Counterpart of Andrew Pope, both of them in the same freshman class, recruited by Coach Mike Hatfield here at Adrian. Both of them graduated from Monroe St. Mary's, so they've been teammates for quite some time, and it continues here at the fine institution of Adrian College. Replacing Colin O'Neill, the premier defender for the Bulldogs. Gritza, Gavin Bignell chasing after it. Pope heads it directly into the air. Good settling touch from Garris. Rochester has a lot of depth. Even the substitutes they've brought on have really shown through with their quality. Reardon a mistake. Quickly encouraged by his teammates. Chris Chiz back in the match. Sophomore out of Huntley, Illinois. Mitchell Maddox also making his entry. Freshman out of Pocomoke, Maryland. Sarka coming off, along with, I believe, Davison. Muscled off of it is Garris. Staying with the play is Dowd. Dowd tiptoeing the touchline, and Reardon will draw a throw. Great communication by this Rochester team. That's one of the things that sets them apart. Obviously, they have great individual skill, but their chemistry is phenomenal in the way they've communicated with each other. As Dowd looks to find a teammate here. Good defense by Chiz, pitching in, and his own defensive third. Vanasacker with a good step to the ball, loses his footing. Dowd back with it. Jones, low cross, sent over the bleachers by Aiden Leland. Leland, another player that's really impressed me early on in this year. Sophomore out of Sterling Heights, Michigan. Right in the territory that Rochester University has recruited a lot of their players. Leland has been phenomenal, really the bedrock of the midfield for Adrian College. As Jones will deliver this in. Chiz heading it out after the whistle was blown. And appears as if it may be a goal kick. I wonder if that corner delivery from Ellis Jones may have dipped out of play and then curved back in. Could be why we're seeing a goal kick. If that was the case, astute eye from the assistant referee. Great job by him. Headed back onwards by Rochester. 25 minutes still to play in this one. Bulldogs down 5-0. 2 goals from Nick Jonai, 2 goals from Dimitar Stankovic, and 1 from Adrian Lopez. That was the opener off of a set piece. Emmert looking to play Bignell through. Bignell may have gotten under Stojanovic a bit there, but no foul called. Now Chiz on the flank. Looking to cut this one back. Instead, it's remarkably kept in play by Dokic. And another incredible clearance by Stojanovic. Just pure class that oozes from this Rochester lineup. Some excellent defenders and some excellent attackers. No other way to explain it other than they've put on a show tonight at Docking Stadium. Far post, Maddox just missed it. Up for it, Dowd. He's clipped. Stojanovic heading wide. Sent high in the air. Vanasacker back in for Owen Emmert. Controlled it well. Now maybe an opportunity on the counter. A hard challenge from Gavin Bignell. That was an ice hockey-esque body check that he just put on Sean Reardon. Adrian letting out their aggression a little bit here. It's been frustrating. And yellow card now for Bignell.
Let's go ahead and take a look at that amazing defense there by Rochester.
Yeah, I would love to see that again. Bignell goes in the referee's book. Yeah, if you could play that back, that'd be excellent. So it was Chiz trying to whip it. Look at that. Got his leg out at the perfect angle to deflect it aside. And that was, keep in mind, that was really good work by Chris Chiz to get by his defender and look to put that ball into the box. Stojanovic has made Rochester's defense virtually impenetrable as Dowd rushes in. Edwards got a piece. Great work by the freshman goalkeeper out of East Lansing. Mooser. Kicked high into the air. Throw in for Rochester. A couple of subs coming in now. Francisco Alvarez for the Warriors. And Elijah Perugi and Colin Charnick coming onto the pitch for the team in white, the Adrian Bulldogs. Bulldogs versus Warriors here on ACTV. Still 23 minutes left to play, despite what our score clock may show. A little bit lower than what the actual amount of time on the scoreboard is at the moment. Third match of a triple header today on ACTV. Football took down Hanover 33-0. The women's soccer team of Adrian ended up with a scoreless draw, and now Owen Emmert looking to change the scoreline of this one. Emmert staying with it, muscled off the ball, and Owen Emmert dragged down Stojanovic to the floor, and now they'll need to be separated. A little bit of a scrap going on down there. Emmert and Stojanovic both pushing and shoving each other, trying to contest for the ball in the penalty area. Eventually, as Emmert was shoved to the ground, he got a complete handful of Stojanovic, dragged him down, and then you can guess what happened in the aftermath. They weren't too happy with each other, we'll just put it that way.
I think the Rochester team had more of a problem of the Adrian player taking the shot after the whistle. I think
that
may have
been part of the equation as well.
There.
Alvarez deflected away by Vanasacker. Settled by Ellis Jones. You certainly hope we can get through these last 20 minutes without anything serious happening. You can tell Adrian's frustrated. At this point, it's about building good habits, as I mentioned earlier, doing the right things, and hoping it can carry over for their match next week, Monday, in 2 days' time against Indiana Wesleyan on the road. Alvarez. But still, the sentiment is that the clock probably cannot tick down fast enough in this game. Yunchai over the top. Looks to have found Dowd. Couldn't find the controlling touch he desired. Another beautiful service. That's off the head of Tyler Garris. Pass provided in by Victor Yunchai out of Rochester. Talk about a ball that just had the perfect curve and weight on it. And Garris a bit frustrated that Wasn't able to deflect it on frame. Difficult to corral those with the head, but a very excellent pass there again from Rochester. It's been remarkable to watch them here tonight. Chiz settling it, looking to play through for Perugi. Some great skill there from Ellis Jones out of Liverpool. Have to wonder if he's an Everton or a Liverpool fan. Those are the two biggest clubs in the Premier League in that region of England. They're bitter rivals, and both have somewhat struggled early on in the Premier League season. Liverpool especially recently fell 4-1 to Napoli in the Champions League. That was very concerning for a team of their caliber. Stojanovic smartly heading that one back to the goalkeeper, Tauzik. Haven't had to say his name too often today. That's just been a testament to the dominating performance we've seen from Rochester. Jones up the line for Alvarez. Garris cut back for Francisco Alvarez. Dowd looking to use deception to his advantage. Jones, nothing but time and space. He'll put in another one of his trademark balls. Weighted in beautifully, but finds Nezovic in the corner, looking to beat Mooser one-on-one. Nezovic, attempt only as far as Drake Sellers. Martin Ivezai, second of two Montenegrins on this Rochester team, will head in now, replacing Stojanovic, and making his entry for the Bulldogs is Bradley Witham, freshman out of Plymouth, Michigan. Emmert will head off after the disagreement he had with Stojanovic. Ironic that they'll both come off the field at the same time. And Ivan Stojanovic, props to him. He has been a brick wall at the back for Rochester. We showed the replay on the clearance he had earlier. Good work from Colin Charnick to stay with this one. Ellis Jones will clear the danger. Charnick and Jones getting mixed up again, and the referee's going to take this game in a stranglehold. It looks like Jones may be the only one booked in this situation, which is unfortunate because I think Charnick, with the altercation he had with Jones, probably warranted one as well. But Jones will be the only one carded. Coaches on the sideline getting into a bit of banter now. Pope signals that he may need a substitution, get a bit of a break. Rochester, managed by Joey Tinian, played college soccer at Oakland University, also in the Detroit area, from 2011 to 2014. Two-time second team and one-time first team all-league selection with the Golden Grizzlies. Coached at Oakland as well for 3 seasons, then actually served here at Adrian as an assistant for a single season. His father, Brian, played professional soccer in England, Wales, and the United States, so soccer really runs in the veins for Joey Tinian. Ellis Jones being subbed off now, replaced by Max Kuznia. And Anthony Ryder will take the place of Drake Sellers. 5-0 the scoreline. 2 goals from Nick Jonai, as well as 2 goals from Dimitar Stankovic. The second, which was a superb thing of beauty, perfectly weighted chip shot over Dominic Edwards, Adrian's goalkeeper. And then the first goal of the game came from Adrian Lopez. Tempers have flared. With a significant lead Rochester has amounted, Bulldogs haven't been happy. There's been cards shown to Gary Davison of Adrian, Ellis Jones of Rochester. Shocking that Stojanovic and Emmert weren't booked earlier for a bit of a dust-up they had in the Warriors' penalty area. Calvin Keys here with you on ACTV. Glad you've joined us for the nightcap of today's Adrian Athletics action. Men's soccer at the NCAA Division III level, as Garrett Dowd has done well here to get past Garrett Ryder, and Andrew Pope has done an even better job to track back and cut off the attempt on goal from Garrett Dowd.
Andrew Pope for Adrian, he is putting everything out there. Down 5-0, and he's still playing like they're winning 3-2.
Absolutely. That's the mindset you love to see if you're their manager, Mike Hatfield. We talked about these type of games separate the men from the boys. We see Andrew Pope raising his game above the rest. Despite his team having conceded 5 goals in this match, he's still laying it all on the line, giving a superb effort. Good clearance from Ryder here. That one up into the stratosphere. Trying to stay with it is Witham. Stabbed by Chiz. Charnick looking to turn. Perugi lost his bearings, reclaimed by Lopez. Swung wide for Lionel. Mateus Lionel, good ball. Caught expertly by Edwards. 16 and a half to go. This second half really going by at a turtle's pace, especially with the end result seemingly all but decided. Really good header by the sizable Martin Ivazai. Chris Chiz didn't really stand a chance with that 50-50 header, did he, Cameron?
Not at all.
Ivazai's a big man.
Yes, he is.
Clears it away there. Good to see some of Rochester's substitutes seeing the field, getting their shot to create some meaningful moments as Ivazai skies this one level with the floodlights here at Docking Stadium. Calvin Keys here with you. Some occasional commentary, joined by our director Cameron Overmeyer. Dylan Knighton, our camera operator tonight. All of us students here at the great institution of Adrian College, bringing you a live presentation of Bulldog athletics. Charnick putting on the press here, squeezing Chris Tauzik, who isn't phased. Up the sideline, it's Kuznia. Picked off by Ryder. And came off Alvarez. Adrian throw. Now we'll see Seth Kane make his first appearance of the night. Luis Colechi coming in, as well as Brian Mendoza. Coming off, Victor Yunchai for Rochester, as well as Luka Nezovic. And Brady Moose are making his exit. Another player that really has stood tall despite the margin of this game, has continued to battle hard throughout. Aiden Leland looking to track the Rochester attack. He's another guy who just can't help but pop off on your screen, number 24 in white. Does such an excellent job as Dowd will look to chase this one down. Bested by Edwards. Edwards. He's got a cannon for a leg, doesn't he? Mitchell Maddox settles. Alvarez can't control it. Witham dropping for Ryder. Looking forward to meeting with Anthony Ryder on Monday. He's the producer for my radio show in one of my classes next week. He'll be helping us out with that, so thanks to Anthony in advance. Have to produce a live radio show on the airwaves for our local radio station, WVAC, here on Adrian College's campus. Ryder, an older student, so he's going to help us on the production side of things. Looking forward to that later this week. Ryder, the sophomore out of South Lyon, Michigan. And Garrett Dowd could be in behind here. Dowd looking to cut in on Vanasacker. Beautiful move. But he's not beating Andrew Pope. That man will not be denied. Pope making a statement. His team's down 5-0, but he doesn't care. He's going to do his very best to deny every attacker on this Rochester lineup, doing whatever he can in his power to shut them down. Andre Hofius awaiting his return onto the pitch. Charnick intercepting. Notable absences. Don't want to speculate on the injuries. Not really sure why they're not in the lineup, but it's been a different Adrian team that we've seen without Dante Perry, who's a significant striker for them. He also wears the armband. Brian Politti, a solid defender for the Bulldogs as well. He's not been in the lineup. Here's a strike from distance. What a turn of events that would have been. Martin Ivazai, the defender, the left back, recently entered the game, was given too much space by Adrian, Dominic Edwards had to put on his rocket boosters and get up for that one. Just got his right hand to it, but that was struck true by Ivazai. Extremely threatening play, as is this cross into the box. And wouldn't you know it, it's a sixth for the Warriors. Tyler Garris, freshman midfielder out of Middleville, Michigan, makes it 6-0. Adrian had gone a long while without conceding. A good stretch of play for the Bulldogs. But finally, Martin Garris makes it a touchdown for the Rochester Warriors. It was a really excellent job on the dribble by Kuznia. Worked it wide for Alvarez. That is just the perfect cross. And Kane was trying to get there, but he was beaten by Garris. Not sure what part of Garris's body that went off of, but that was one of those scenarios where you're just trying to get whatever you can on it, obviously other than your arm. Garrett makes it 6. If you're just joining us, Rochester has scored early and often in this one. 6-0. 2 from Nick Jonai. 2 from Dimitar Stankovic. 1 from Adrian Lopez. Just saw a goal from Tyler Garris. That makes 6. 4 individual goal scorers for the Warriors as Adrian's going to win a free kick here. Ivan Stojanovic, he's not on the pitch right now. I think that provides an ample opportunity for Adrian to try and score. Stojanovic, if you're just joining us, was center back, who really has done a superb job of locking down the Bulldogs, albeit their backup defenders will probably suffice as well, as they have a lot of squad depth. Comes into the back post. Emmert may have gotten in touch. Into the hands of Chris Tauzik, Sterling Heights, Michigan native. Freshman goalkeeper. Freshman goalkeepers on both ends of the pitch tonight. Dominic Edwards for Adrian and Chris Tauzik for the Warriors. There's been a great difference in workload between the two. Tauzik hasn't seen much of the ball. Hofius tried to find Emmert, who was undercut there by Adrian Lopez. Colin Charnick. Shot was heading wide, took a deflection off a Rochester player. It's really only fitting that Adrian Lopez scored a goal against Adrian College. It just makes sense. Reaching the 10-minute mark, Bradley Witham back in for the Bulldogs. If you're wondering why this game is still taking place late into the night, 10:20 right now. This game was intended to begin at 7 p.m., but there was a women's soccer match that started prior to it, and that game got postponed midway through for about an hour and a half because there was a thunderstorm overhead. For the players' safety, everyone had to take shelter, including us broadcasters. We hung out for about an hour and a half and tried to pass the time however we could. And then thankfully that game resumed. Ended scoreless, unfortunately. So the women's soccer team added another draw to their record on the season against the Heidelberg Student Princes. And then 30 minutes were given for both of these teams to warm up, and the game commenced an hour and a half later than scheduled. Nonetheless, thank you for joining us here on ACTV. Happy to have you with us, most definitely. Next broadcast will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. More Adrian women's soccer as they challenge the College of Worcester. What a name. Vanasacker doing well there. Good ball into the midfield for Charnick, who nearly beat his man, but has it taken away from him by Gadiel Herrera. Dokic looking to send ahead. Vanasacker did well to get ahead on it. Kolechi sent wide. Luis Kolechi for Tyler Garris, who has the most recent goal of Rochester 6. They are not afraid to try a shot from anywhere on the field. Mateus Lionel from about the 30-yard line. 40 yards out. Didn't scare him, but missed by a wide margin. Clock continuing to tick down here. Dom Edwards skying it up the pitch. Resilient effort. Despite allowing a great deal of goals, he's performed well, made a couple of saves. A few moments ago, he had to be on the top of his game to save a shot from distance from Martin Ivazai. Springing forward for it. Our director, Cameron, noted earlier on in the game how far he likes to come out when the ball's on the opposite side of the pitch. We're seeing that again here. Hasn't come back to bite him as of yet. Hasn't had to play it either in that position. 7.5 to go. Vanasacker will send it all the way back for Edwards, who's quickly being pressured by Dowd. Up the sideline. Headed onwards for the Bulldogs. Ivazai. Back up the other way for Dowd, who will avoid participating in the play to avoid the offsides call that would soon follow. Edwards pushing Hofius up the field. Sends a low drive. Takes a nice skip to Emmert. Vladimir Dokic. His leg went across the body of Emmert on the challenge. Free kick, Bulldogs. Reiter. Vanasacker tries a drive. Tauzik saved it. Owen Emmert bared down on him. He's checking on him now. Emmert already gotten some disagreements with Rochester players early on in the game after he had a scuffle with Stojanovic, and he'll be shown his first yellow card of the night now. Emmert frustrated, doesn't look like he felt some remorse after he collided with Chris Tauzik. Didn't really get a great angle on what exactly happened there. But Tauzik was run into. Warriors players weren't too happy about it. Now Perugi with possession. Sent wide for Rochester. Perugi trying to stay with the play. Caught Francisco Alvarez late. Good show of sportsmanship, helping Alvarez back onto his feet. Nothing malicious about it, just late to the punch. Ivazai, who's shown that he has an above-average kicking ability. Reiter cutting that one out. Vanasacker sends a drive of his own that Ivazai will win easily without contest. Leland left for Maddox, who coughed up possession. Dowd trying to get a foot in. Looking to flick it on for Kalechi. But Hofius cleared away. 5.5 to go. Ivazai. Lionel. Not Lionel Messi, but rather Mateus Lionel. Francisco Alvarez. Knocked away by Maddox. Into the feet of Alvarez again. Dokic. Played wide. Kalechi flicking it back. Turned over into the hands of Colin Charnick. Heading out the end line. Had an arm in his shoulder. Tried to cut that one back, but wasn't quite able to. This has been a week for Adrian that will try the mettle of any soccer team. 3-0 loss to Spring Arbor on Tuesday. 5-0 loss in their last game to St. Francis. Bradley Witham upended, shockingly for no call. Surely looked to be a foul on Gadiel Herrera, but no whistle was blown. And now Dowd, who's really caused some issues for Adrian with his speed. Wasn't able to get the better of Reiter, so tried to grab him. And now a free kick that will be handled by Vanasacker. See what the confusion is this time. Maybe another card shown. Or maybe a stern conversation. Referee having a word with Bradley Witham. Clock stops here, or it will resume now. Stopped again. Scoreboard operator playing tricks on us here. 3:46 is the time remaining. After having a heart-to-heart with Witham, it'll be a drop ball for Rochester, and play resumes with Dokic. Ryder heading away. Now Dowd. Played through. Seemed to be miles ahead of Alvarez. Bignell subbing Charnick. Emmert muscled away by Kuznia. Maddox went up sloppily and collided with Kalechi. Tried to get some push-ups in. Never a bad time to do some push-ups. A little bit of strength training while you're getting some cardio in with soccer. See if Kalechi can use that newfound strength to win a header here on the other side of the field. That's an attempt on goal. Mateus Leonel shrugs as if to say, he gave me no choice. Didn't really like the runs from his teammates there, I suppose. Edwards will kick this one up the pitch again. Witham collided with Evazai. I don't think there's many players that will be able to beat out Evazai in a collision of that nature. He's a large man. I'll just leave it at that. Andre Hofius to take the free kick. Rang the upright. That's a pretty difficult feat to achieve. Unfortunate. Wouldn't have gotten the goal in the soccer game and also would not have gotten the 3 points were it a football game. Denied of both. Witham working in, falls to Emmert. Perugi tried his luck, didn't really have the lane there, did he? Sails acres wide. Goal kick for Rochester, and Tauzik will rightfully look to wear off as much time as he can. (6-0) the scoreline in favor of Rochester. Bulldogs have been outscored 11-0 in their last 3 games, but still the effort's been good. They've not shown any quit. They've continued to fight all night, and that's something to be happy about, and it's admirable from this Adrian team. Vanastacker settling. Hofius, creative trap with the shin, played for Bignell. More frustration for the Bulldogs. Tauzik trapped on the near touchline. That's not a situation you want to be in if you're a goalkeeper. Doesn't usually bode for success. Entering the final minute, we'll again just recap the goal scorers tonight. Nick Jonai with 2. Dimitar Stankovic with 2. And then we saw one from Tyler Garris as well as Adrian Lopez. Adrian scores at Adrian. That adds up to 6. No extra point from Rochester, but they've scored a touchdown. Vanastacker will rocket this one onwards. Could not be controlled by Emmert. Now up for Luis Kalechi. Maybe one last chance for Garrett Dowd. He'll be in on goal. Muscled off by Ryder. And that'll do it. 6-0 the final score. Rochester Warriors dominate Adrian College from start to finish. That's the scoreline we'll end with. Thank you for joining us here on Adrian College TV. The last of 3 broadcasts. And we're happy you joined us for tonight's game. On behalf of our entire crew, have a great rest of your weekend.